Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be another game from our Nation Wars, which I'm about to complete actually. So this is the semi-final of the tournament. Now let's quickly begin with just mentioning that this is game number 4. And our question of the series is, who is your favorite Starcraft 2 player? Now this can be any pro or grandmaster player of your choosing. Of course, if they're not quite grandmaster, you're very welcome to mention them as well, just to give them a thumbs up. And that's pretty much that. Now let's introduce our players very quickly. We've got INnoVation on the bottom left hand side on Ulrena, spawning as the blue Terran. Now he's representing both SK Telecom T1 and Korea. His opponent is going to be the red Zerg on the top left hand side here. It's going to be Acer's Nerchio, and he is representing both Team Acer and Poland. Okay, so let's see how this one plays out. It does appear that we have a hatchery coming out here for Nerchio very early in the beginning, so no pool just yet. I do wonder if he's going to start with a double pool. Honestly, I don't see it happening. It's quite rare to see that versus a Terran, because of course you fall quite vulnerable to the Reaper harassment. And there we go, pool has been brought down. Everything quite standard here for INnoVation so far. Nothing different from the usual Terran build, with one Reaper beginning and potentially open for a few more Reapers after that. So let's see how these players play out. Now, of course, you might have seen a few changes in my channel recently. I have been making quite a lot of differences or changes, whether it's removing the intro, because I found that personally, if I was to check up on my own videos, seeing that 10-second intro, I think it was 8 actually, was just a little bit too annoying, having it in every single video. So I decided, you know, the hell with that intro, I'm just going to get rid of it altogether. And instead what I've done is I've just left an outro. I might start making that outro just a little bit longer to avoid spoilers of, for example, rush games. So you might see a lot of games, they start off with, for example, a 12 or 13 pool, and then, you know, they end after 3-4 minutes, which, you know, it's a little bit obvious what exactly happened when you just start off with the video. So might just extend those by about 2 minutes or so, just to make the game look like it's a normal game. But we'll see, of course, how that plays out. So let's see how this one continues on. Looks like the one Reaper. Has he actually done any kills yet? No, not yet. Not sure why he's focusing the hatchery, because of course that is not of much use for him. Looks like an expansion is about to complete here for INnoVation as well. So he's definitely not interested in continuing the Reaper harassment. And looks like Nerchio has actually opted to go for the Roach Warren quite early on as well. So that is, of course, very important, because that just means that he's not going to be playing the cheese. He's just going to try to standardize the game, which, you know, funny enough, is something that you definitely don't see enough on Ulrena, since it's such a small map. Now, a Destiny Cloud Fist build being executed here by INnoVation. And for those of you who don't know, Destiny Cloud Fist is just a popularized name for the 1-1-1 build. So 1 Rex, 1 Factory, 1 Starport, popularized by Husky Starcraft. Rest in peace, unfortunately he's gone. And yeah, so it looks like Nerchio has actually put his overlords in perfect position, so he can basically see every single expansion that goes down. So he's going to see this one the moment it gets put down, as in it started working. And of course that is something he wants to know. So Nerchio actually putting on a bit of aggression here, as you could see. Roaches and Zerglings both coming out. Ooh, a Ravager being morphed in as well. So probably worried about potentially seeing some sort of bunkers or something like that. Now this Reaper is still being annoying. Has he killed anything? Still no kills on him. Ooh, first drone kill. I suppose paying for himself is quite okay. Army supply is favoring Nerchio, but that is of course because he got this big army in the beginning here. Now it's going to be a bit of a dangerous position, but I do think that Nerchio is going to be able to break in here and do enough significant damage to at least pay for these units. Now this gives him the idea straight away that there's a Banshee with stealth coming out. The Banshee is still going to come out, of course, because it'll be very useful for defending off against these units. And I think that it's actually a close call, depending on how much Nerchio actually decides to continue on with this, with focusing the SCVs. He could actually force the GG out of INnoVation right now. So 6 SCVs already killed. This timing push from Nerchio has paid off very well so far, managing to take out the tech lab here and taking out already 8 SCVs. So the main base mining has been completely disrupted at this point. And looks like he's just producing more and more. Now these Hellions, I do believe they didn't actually do anything up in here. They did decide to go back out. And 14 SCVs have now been destroyed. 16 even before the roaches got cleaned up. So definitely a worthy trade-off right now. And I have to say, that was beautifully played here by Nerchio. The perfect timing to actually move out here. And of course, punishing the Hellions. Because Hellions are not good against roaches whatsoever. I mean, yes, they're faster. Yes, they do area damage. But at the same time, they are not good against armored units such as the roaches. Because the roaches are so damn strong. Now, this feels so zoomed in then when you move in with the camera. It's just so strange to see it like this. Looks like 2 Banshees already here. The stealth is about to complete. Now I assume that Nerchio is indeed prepared. As you can see, he has already got himself Spore Crawlers inside both of his bases. So the Queens will be able to hold off against this. Ooh, this poor drone was about to set up a base here, but getting denied pretty much straight away. And it looks like Nerchio has decided to back on out a little bit. Now just a note, Nerchio has got 45 workers in comparison to 29 of INnoVation. I think that now is the ideal time to continue on with this push, which is actually exactly what he's doing. Here we go. All of these roaches inside the base doing a bit more economic damage. 6 SCVs taken out already. I think the more he does this, the further INnoVation is going to fall behind. And finally these roaches getting cleaned up with a total of 9 SCVs destroyed. Now let's have a quick look at the roaches versus SCVs. 26 SCVs to 16 roaches and 1 Ravager. In my eyes, that is an absolutely worthy trade, simply because of the fact that he's got so much better economy. Let's have a quick look at that actually. 1400 minerals to 700, and gas is actually the same because they're both on similar amount of bases. So a huge lead here for Nerchio right now. Let's see what he's going to be able to do off with this engage. Honestly, I don't think he'll be able to pull off too much here, especially considering there is quite a lot of Zerg units. And the income is just going to be favoring Nerchio heavily here, so he'll be able to reinforce pretty much the whole time. These Banshees I don't think are going to be able to do a whole lot here with 3 Queens and the Overseer of course spotting them. 2 have already been destroyed. Siege Tank getting destroyed as well, and Army Supply now also favoring hugely in favor of Nerchio. So very well played here. I have to say, Nerchio at a very commanding lead. And all he has to do really is destroy this Banshee, or even I think if he just rushes straight into this base, he will be able to take out INnoVation at this point. Now it looks like for some reason INnoVation just continues to produce these Banshees. Honestly, I don't think it's the correct response at this point. Because he's got Queens and an Overseer already here, I think that the better option here would be to just make something like a mass Marine and Marauder army, or even just build a bunch of Siege Tanks to defend off against this. One Siege Tank getting cleaned off with that one last Corrosive Bile, and they're now inside the main base, just going to kill off the supply depot, which not going to supply block, but of course is doing more and more economic damage. And there we go, straight into the mineral line. Gonna start taking out SCVs as well. There's no response here from INnoVation, having to pull off those SCVs, and all of them getting clean off. 16 workers have already been destroyed in this engage. Let's have a quick look. 40 to 32 roaches, honestly, and there we go. GG has been called. Nerchio putting Poland on the scoreboard for this one with a 3-1 lead for Korea. And that's pretty much it for game number 4 between Poland and Korea. Finally, Poland is now on the scoreboard. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Of course, leave it a thumbs up and subscribe if you did. And I'll see you guys in game number 5. Now, of course, our question of the day before we forget, or of the series rather, is who's your favorite StarCraft 2 player and why? That's it. I'll see you guys in game number 5. Good luck. Take care. Bye bye.